Hello girls, it's so nice to see you again. Last week we have learned how to write different types of imaginary autobiographies.
Yes, it was great fun.
Yes, and in the next class you also did a group activity wherein you chose a topic from each category, you wrote about it and you exchanged your write-ups.
We enjoyed that, but I could not go beyond 7 sentences.
My score was 9, hardly better.
Today, we will do the same exercise but with a new topic. Can any of you suggest a topic to me?
We have to deal with books all the time. Why not let a book tell us about its life?
Okay, here is one way for the book to let it start its story.
So finally, my sufferings are over. My attractive, colorful self is spread out on this boy's writing table. He is so proud of his new possession, but he hardly knows what all I had to go through to become this fine finished product.
What kind of sufferings might the book be referring to?
Most of the books are made from trees, the wood. So when the branches are chopped, it must feel terrible. Then our next paragraph can begin with this sentence.
The warehouse of the paper mill was almost empty, so they sent the woodcutters with axes. I was among the tall and strong trees.
In no time, they chopped my beautiful branches with thick foliage, all lying all over the ground. I was bleeding.
It was such a torture.
Do you realize, girls, you have already started getting grip on making your writing interesting.
But our English may not be very correct. That is some worry.
Don't worry about it at this stage. Let us just go with the flow of the story. We can improve on the language later. Do you think the suffering of the tree is over?
Not at all. The worst part was they cooked me and turned me into pulp.
But thankfully, they immediately added lots of cold water in my hot pulp.
Anyone ready with the next step? Okay, then I will continue.
My watery pulp was pumped into a moving screen, but it was bearable. Then the paper machine quickly pressed me till I was completely dry. That was again very painful. By now, I had become a long sheet of smooth paper.
I think the last few steps should be easy for you.
Yes, teacher, we have learnt about the printing press. Can I continue?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
In the press, I was cut into different sizes. It was less painful than some of the earlier steps. Then followed the typesetting, the pagination, the printing and the binding.
And finally, I became a book. What a journey.
And now I am happy. Why happy?
Because I am so useful to mankind.
Can you imagine a world without books?
Well done, girls. You have certainly improved. But now let us try and give a different dimension to the story. And let's try and fine-tune it.
But I am a bit worried about my future. I have been hearing a lot of noise about e-books and audiobooks. I do not mind audiobooks though.
Why do you think that the book is okay with audiobooks?
They are so helpful to the blind and those with weak eyes.
What are the worries then?
Maybe it is worried about e-books. It thinks people will buy less books and their importance will be less and less.
But majority of the people in our country do not have access to the internet.
We all have internet connection at home, yet we still buy books.
What could be the reason?
All books are not yet digitalized.
There is a particular joy in holding your favorite book, sitting in a favorite place and at leisure time.
And don't you know, recently there was a huge book fair in Pune where a record number of books were sold.
I am very happy with you girls. And I know that you are able to put your points through very confidently now. We have also gathered enough information. Now, I want one of you to take all these points together and let our book narrate its own story in its own voice. This will be a good revision for us. So, who will volunteer? Yes, Anushka. Would you like to attempt telling us the autobiography of the book?
Yes, but there may be mistakes.
Doesn't matter. We all learn from mistakes. So please go ahead and start. Just pick up the thread from the point of worries.
Pick up the thread.
This means continue.
I don't have much against the audiobooks because they are a blessing for those who have blind eyes and for those who have weak eyes. But they can affect my sale and reduce my importance. However, let me not worry unnecessarily. Many people still do not have access to the internet and many bookshops are still making profit. Recently, I heard there was a huge book fair in Pune and a record number of books were sold out. I've seen people, children and adults all enjoying reading their favorite books in their hands, sitting in a quiet corner in their home or in a garden. They stretch their legs and are lost in another world.
Very well done, Anushka. We are all proud of you. I am sure after this discussion, all of you will be able to write an autobiography of an object very easily. What did we learn? While writing the autobiography of a non-living thing, we have to let the object speak about its life history using our general knowledge. While describing the early stages of how the object was made, we must also imagine its feelings and thoughts. Then, we can continue by creating incidents which seem like real experiences of a living being. By the end of our essay, the readers should feel they have actually met the object personally. Exercise. Write a minimum 20 sentences for the autobiography of a book and submit it to your teacher. In the next writing class, you can discuss your errors in English. You have an option to choose to write the story of a textbook, a storybook, or an atlas.